Hey everyone, it's Ashley Jones, Event Director at Marketing Showcase. Thanks for watching one of our recordings from Marketing Showcase Online. I really hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I'll see you at another one soon.
Okay, so I'm Dan Broadbent from Objective Creative. We're one of the UK's fastest growing business-to-business marketing agencies. With me, the man up here who's responsible for his premature slide share this morning is Carl.
Hi everyone.
Carl is our creative and digital director and my business partner here at Objective. So this morning then, it's all about generating more B2B sales leads through effective digital marketing. So thank you so much for joining us. Any questions, pop them in the chat and Ashley will ask those at the end of the session. So what we're going to be covering today? Well, we know that we're in very strange times. Hopefully we're seeing the end of those. A lot of our clients for a couple of months were unsure as to which direction to face, but then now, fortunately, we're in a situation where people are actually engaging in more marketing activity than ever before because we've found a way of generating them more business leads. So if you were normally at trade shows across Europe, across North America, and that's not possible now, there's a way of making sure that you don't miss out on those B2B sales, and that's through effective digital marketing. So we'll be looking at ways that we can, in the short term, contend with the restrictions and the way we have to do business, and then some of the other conventions that we should be following in all times when things move back to normality as we get into the summer. We're affiliated partners of Google, so we'll be telling you a few insights from the search giants Google. It's always good to know what they're up to because they're very much the bosses of the digital landscape. And then we'll end with some proven methods that you can take back to your businesses. So in terms of myself, just a very little bit about myself. My background is B2B marketing strategy. That's been with some global businesses, but also some ambitious SMEs. So looking at the people we have here today, hopefully there's something for your business, irrespective of the size of the business itself. I've been working in the UK and over in the Middle East. So the last few weeks hasn't been quite so good weather as I had there, but probably what Carl was used to because he only got as far as Leeds.
I did, thanks Dan.
Far enough though, isn't it, Carl?
Well, it's far enough for me from Sheffield to Leeds, absolutely. So I've got around 20 years experience leading creative marketing studios on behalf of integrated agencies. However, around the turn, around the late 90s, early 2000s, took a very keen interest in digital marketing and the emergence of the internet and related channels. So I generate regional, national and international conferences, most of which are online, obviously, for the past year or so. So I've missed out on my trips down south, down to the seaside. Mainly to Brighton to take part in the biggest international search conference, Brighton SEO. And I oversee all the creative and digital output of our agency, Objective Creative.
So just a couple of minutes about what we do, and then we'll move on to some really handy tips for you. So first of all, what we're offering everybody who attends today is the opportunity to submit for a complimentary business-to-business marketing audit. So there'll be a form that pops up at the end of the presentation, and you'll be able to claim your complimentary B2B marketing audit at that point. Wondering what's in that? Well, we can have a go with marketing strategy evaluation, so we can talk about your marketing challenges and opportunities. We can offer SEO and PPC performance analysis and a website technical report, so we can tell you what needs fixing on your website, and all of these services are complimentary. There are 10 consultations available, and we'll give you the opportunity at the end of the session. In terms of who we are, we're the UK's fastest growing B2B creative and digital marketing agencies. So our unique position is that we only deal with business to business clients. So you'll have some agencies who one day are dealing with coffee shops and florists, and the next day they're dealing with valve manufacturers. Well, we're only involved in business to business marketing. So that does give us unique insight and make our campaigns more effective. All of the services you'd expect from strategy through to branding and creative through to video and digital are all in-house. So whatever you're looking for, hopefully we've got something to help you with this morning. And it's all very much results focused. So you can see some of the brands that we work with, and we'll just skip through those now, but it's very much about being able to impact your business in a positive way. More leads, more sales, everyone's happy. We are affiliated with Google, so we will be telling you some of our insights, more Carl's insights from that relationship as we work through. And we also are the agency that deliver the Digital Marketing Masters Programme on behalf of Sheffield Hallam University. So there's also some insights that come from the marketeers of the future. It's amazing what you can learn from a 21, 22-year-old who's got their head around digital marketing better than most of us. So Carl was new to the TikTok revelation because of that. And the kind of people that we deal with, anything from those leading PLCs through to some really ambitious SMEs. So something for everyone this morning. So let's crack on with why we're here. So how we generate more B2B sales. So what I'm going to try to do is to pose some questions to Carl. So he's the digital brain. So I'm trying to make sure that everything that we ask is very accessible. So if you are a digital marketeer and you do feel that I'm teaching to suck eggs, I do apologize for that, but we do want to make sure there's something for everyone this morning. So first of all, this association with Google, is there anything at the moment that you could reveal, Carl, that will be interesting to the people who have joined us for the presentation?
Absolutely, yeah. Just reading something this morning, actually, where Google's partnership program and their analytics certifications have been picked back up. They were sort of frozen for the past 12 months with some of the new criteria that's coming in for people to become certified and have the certifications through analytics and AdWords. Those programs have been put on hold really for the past 12 months, so people have kept hold of their certifications, and anyone that was due to renew them we'll start that program again in the next couple of months as we come out of the pandemic. So that's an update fresh literally from Google this morning, that their partnership program is going to be unfrozen, if you like, and there'll be more chance to access the online resource and take the certifications if you need to do so.
And we would say that if it's yourself or with an agency, do make sure they are certified by Google, because you do get some insights that are really valuable. You know what's happening next, you know what the algorithms will be doing, and that can make a massive impact.
Definitely.
Okay, let's move through. So some of those trends then that have been happening over the past 12 months or so. So since the start of the pandemic, search volumes have increased significantly for some products and services. Some have increased by over 2,400%. And really what we need to do is start viewing people's behavior online in a different way. So that little graphic at the bottom, do you want to talk us through that, Carl? The five different the 5 different ways that we can actually start understanding intent and behavior.
Absolutely. So if you want to try and sort of leverage people's intent, which is really the key to understanding what we want to optimize our websites for. So if we're selling a product, it's rare, unless you're the market leader and been around for a while, that people just search for your products. And that can be definitely a channel that people are going to find your website. More often than not, they have an intent to solve an issue, a problem, answer a question, or looking for a solution. So how people feel, what people know, how they make a living, which is changing ever more with the landscape of work changing, how people learn, and people are wanting to upskill or maybe change careers. And over the past 12 months, it's been a bit of a light bulb moment for some people to think, actually, I need to address my work-life balance. I've been made redundant. I want to move into that new career. How people are learning new skills is something we need to really truly understand. And then what people actually do. So how they're actually searching, if they're wanting to buy a product or find out information about a product, can have massive effects on how we optimize our website aligned to that user intent. And all those 5 points on the bottom of the screen there will have vastly, in most instances, changed over the last 12 to 18 months as people are looking for information on how they can switch careers, make different choices, and try and learn more, and try and upskill to try and come out the other side of the pandemic in a better state than what they went in.
So I think something really then to take away from this morning is that if you are involved in digital marketing campaigns, you need to be acting differently now than you did 12 months ago, because the world around us has changed. It sounds obvious, but we can be so preoccupied with other priorities that we just let a PPC campaign flow. We just let our SEO strategy go ahead. We have the same e-commerce experience. And what we're saying this morning is everything's changed. So therefore make sure that you change with it, because people's behavior has changed. Okay, let's move through, Carl.
Yeah.
So digital's never been more important. So digital most definitely has changed, but it's become even more important in the marketing mix.
Absolutely. So as we all know, Google dominate the search landscape. 2/3 of all traffic through search console is through Google. There's around 3.5 billion Google searches made per day this year that the estimates are going, and it's growing. And also how we search is massively changing. I mean, I've got a 13-year-old son. Wouldn't dream of typing in a search into a keyboard. He's holding his iPhone, pressing the Siri button and voice searching. And how we search by voice is very different to how we type a search, which is more short form. Voice search tends to be more long form, more long tail keywords. So how we optimize our websites, how we structure them needs to change and evolve due to how people are using the search engines.
So make sure that as one takeaway from today, you look to see whether you have activated a search by voice rather than just by type. So look at your search optimization strategy and make sure that your agency or your in-house team is taking enough notice of the move to voice search rather than type search. And in terms of claiming your share of search, well, your position in search has never been more important either.
Absolutely. So, as we all know, being number one or position zero, so getting a featured snippet or a call out at the top of a page, has never been more important. People are moving their budgets, moving their activities from more, as we expect, from physical to more digital applications. So your position has never been more important. And just to give you a guide and a bit of insight, position one in Google, you'll get around, and this is an average of course, 32.5% of search traffic for a keyword in position one. That drops down to only 6.1% of that traffic when you get a position 5. After page 1, you're below 1%. So really, you need to be on page 1 and you need to be in those top 3 or 4 positions to start getting a good chunk of the search volume.
And there's some big changes. So you've let us know about the accreditation program this morning, but other things are happening in 2021, mobile
Absolutely.
first.
Absolutely. So mobile first is a term that's been used for at least the last 2 or 3 years in search marketing, digital marketing. So basically it relates to how your website performs on a mobile device. So around 3 years ago, Google first started seeing the signs that more people were using, again, this is an average, so it's going to differ by sector or by channel, but as an average, more people are looking at websites on mobile devices, so iPads, iPhones, mobile devices, than desktop computers or laptops. So they started rolling out an algorithm that was more centered towards websites that were more mobile friendly, so responsive. So they change depending on how a user is accessing the website. Those changes are now going to become the law, if you like, through Google. And from March, Google will actually not list a website that's not mobile optimized. So they finally said, you've had 2 or 3 years notice now. From March, no date given that I've seen, but March is definitely the time that everyone's speaking about. If your website isn't mobile friendly, it will just simply not be in search results, which could be catastrophic for businesses that aren't ready for that change.
So the link that we've got here to check, that's an official link, that's within the slide deck, so you can request a copy of the slide deck at the end of this presentation. Another takeaway from today, do make sure that you have all mobile optimized websites. Is very, very important from a search perspective. Sounds obvious, but there are still some businesses that haven't actually implemented that change.
And also, just one final point on that, Dan, make sure, even if you think your website's mobile optimized, it may well be, but there may be a technical error. It only takes a file in the wrong place to tell Google that your website's not mobile optimized when it actually is. So please use the tool. Make sure that Google thinks your website's mobile optimized.
So core web vitals then, some of the things that we need to know. I think we just should run through this because I'm conscious of time.
Absolutely. Again, just a headline on this, core web vitals, it's all a new set of algorithms, a new set of guidelines from Google that are also with how your web page loads in a browser. So it can be very frustrating if some content loads in and just as you're about to click it, the rest of the page loads and pushes it down. It's all around how a page is structured and the code structure and the load speed and timing of your content. It's a technical fix. It's not something that's currently a massive part of the algorithm, but again, they did say that, Google, about HTTPS security a few years ago, and that's now more important than it's ever been. So it's something you need to be aware of and something that we can give you more detailed information on, or you can do your own research on, should you want to get a bit more information about Google Core Web Vital metrics.
I think we do find with Google that something is introduced and at that point it isn't the be all and end all, but over time it becomes much more important. So it's a question of being on first with these changes to make sure you stay ahead of your competition.
Absolutely.
So this one is particularly important. It's 6 steps to SEO content creation. So we do find that lots of people are not following best practice on SEO, particularly around content. So this is the 6-step guide to how to make sure that you optimize your website in the most effective method.
So as we've spoken about before in previous sessions, around 80% of the work that needs to be done to achieve organic, long-term sustainable rankings is around the content creation process. The technical side of it is very important, but the most important point is the creation and sharing of relevant, useful content. So I'm going to quickly skip through our 6 steps to making sure that content creation process is as fruitful as it needs to be. So step 1, sounds obvious, but as we spoke about earlier, the world's changed. So make sure that you define and agree target keywords with your dev team, your SEO team, or your external agency. Step 2, we need to create content around those keywords. So that needs to be infographics, blog articles, short form video, calculation tools, things that we can give to our prospects and our audience that are going to be relevant to our keywords. Then that content, which is one of the biggest mistakes and one of the biggest things that we have to explain to our clients and our prospects, is that content needs to live in other places other than our website. It sounds really obvious, because if you've only got 500 visitors a month, you're creating content for those 500 people. That's going to slowly grow, absolutely, but we can actually grow the traffic to our site by hosting that content other well-trodden third-party websites and other platforms with a much bigger audience. We can then pull that content into our website. So actually we're pulling in a snippet of that into our site and we're hosting it on another platform. It's really important, really key. We can then share that link to the platforms where we're hosting our content, and all those links, likes, shares and mentions are all traffic back to you, done correctly, traffic back to your target pages. That will then increase the rankings of our target pages because we've got much more traffic, noise, links, mentions and shares coming into those target pages. So Google's looking, thinking, well, actually, there's all this information about this subject matter. It's all the author of that information is Company A. Company A must be an authority. Everyone's talking about it, linking, sharing and liking. So we'll elevate their position in the search rankings. And by then, we're then appearing in the search rankings to our actual target audience. So a lot of that will be a lot of crossover, a lot of the same people who are creating the content for, but also people who may not have seen our content, but will now find our website because it's ranked higher for the target terms we want, we've identified as being beneficial to our business that we want people to find our site for.
So SEO can really be seen as a very complex process, but in those 6 easy steps, hopefully there's something for you to gauge whether you're doing the right things at the moment. And if you would like a further conversation, we have just launched the UK's first B2B only SEO strategy. So that's something that I'm sure will be helpful to businesses with B2B sales. And just to show we practice what we preach, then we've got an example from our blog that shows exactly how you can keep ahead of the curve on SEO. So if you go to our blog, there's information there where you'll be able to pick up on the latest trends for search engine marketing. Generating website visits then. So SEO and PPC can generate huge amounts of traffic to your website. PPC, though, it's very much a way of trialing the effectiveness of a series of search terms if you want to go ahead with an SEO strategy thereafter.
Absolutely. So SEO is a very medium to long-term part of the marketing mix and your marketing strategy. PPC, you could rank today at the very top of search results via PPC and paid search. It's also a great way to trial if you're not sure if a keyword's right and going to generate the right type of leads or sales into your business. You can use PPC to trial those keywords. And if the inquiries, the leads or the sales, if you're e-commerce, are the right type of sale, then it gives you the confidence to put that into your SEO mix to make sure, because you've trialed it, you know you're going to get the right results from it.
So it sounds obvious, but SEO is that medium to long-term strategy. PPC has the immediacy to it. However, SEO is a better bet in the long term. It's an investment in your business. So just two differences between SEO and PPC. So the use of analytics, we can track the journey of a customer directly to our website or our landing page.
Absolutely. So the beauty of digital marketing and PPC is that we can track what keywords people have triggered to show our ads, the ads that have got the best response, and the best responses that have turned into eventually sales. So we can track the whole process and we can do more of what works and less of what doesn't.
And finally, this is the most important thing before we leave you today. When we've got visitors to our website, how do we turn those into leads?
Well, absolutely. We need to make sure that we've paid to get traffic and relevant traffic to our website. The last thing we want is to confuse someone and not give them everything they want from that landing page. So the use of specific landing pages relating to the content areas and keywords is something that we need to implement almost as a given. But we've seen lots of agencies and lots of companies that don't use landing pages and don't make the most of the traffic they've paid to get onto their website.
So if you are using a PPC or an SEO campaign and you're just driving people through to a page of your website and it isn't a specific landing page, that's something that if you want to talk to us at the end, we can certainly help you with. This is an example of our landing page. So, fantastic that we have the opportunity to share that with you today. This is something I'd say when you get the slide deck, look through, compare what you have now. And if it is a standard website page rather than a landing page, then that's something that does need addressing because it's an easy fix, but it makes a tremendous difference.
It does.
Landing page doesn't have any escape. There's no navigation at the top, you'll see there. So this is an example from one of our clients. There's no escape when you get to that page, and that's deliberate. We want to reinforce our key messages, and we want to give people an opportunity to get a quote or put in an inquiry or purchase a product. We don't want them just browsing around. So that is it. We're pretty much on time. Thank you for participating today. I can see we've got some questions coming in. It's also the time now where if you like what you've heard and you'd like a complimentary B2B audit, you can get that requested now. And I know Ashley's going to share a form on screen where you can either request your free business-to-business lead generation strategy, so that's a consultation, or a copy of the slide deck from the talk today. So if you want to make your choices, we have 10 of the strategy consultations available today, and anyone who wants a copy of the slide deck is more than welcome to. So Ashley, any questions?
Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Your 10 consultations have gone like that. So you're either going to have to make a bit more time for those, or we're going to have to filter out.
Well, if people are interested, then by all means do put forward the fact that you'd like a consultation, and we'll do our very best to accommodate as many people as possible.
Yeah, good man. Brilliant. Thanks very much. And thanks both of you for your time. If you could just unshare your screen for me, that would be brilliant. Awesome. So we've got some brilliant questions coming in. I'll leave that poll up in the bottom corner. So if anyone wants to get the slides or request a consultation, they can do that whilst we're asking questions. So I'm going to roll straight into it. So I'm going to do it in chronological order to a certain extent. Can you talk about major search engines? Obviously, we know Google. Most people use Google, but what are the other major search engines that people should consider?
Bing is the secondary search engine that we optimize for some businesses, because again it can come pre-installed and preset. So it's still in B2B. Can be a major player, especially for PPC as well. So they've literally copied the Google structure for their search paid search platform. So it's, if you're very familiar with the Google PPC platform, AdWords platform, you'll be very, very pleased to see that when you log into Bing PPC, it's almost identical.
You can actually import, can't you, from Google?
Yeah, you can import your campaigns directly in. You can click a button and import your campaign, so you don't have to do all the setup again. You can literally just transpose everything straight into Bing paid search. So Bing is the other one, and there's lots of other smaller search engines. DuckDuckGo is another one that I know is growing in popularity with regards to their stance on privacy. But mainly it's Google and Bing that are dominating the search landscape.
Right, thank you very much. Difference between posting content and sharing content, steps with SEO. Can you share a little bit of insight?
Absolutely. So posting content is where we actually post it on a platform. We then share it from that platform across a network of other websites. So posting is actually placing the content, deciding the best home for it, if you like, where it should live. And it should only live in one place. We shouldn't be putting it on our blog and then other platforms as well. It should be on one platform. So for example, with infographics, we post a lot of them on a site called Visually, very well trusted by search engines. And from Visually, it gives you all the tools where you can share it across your social networks and lots of other platforms. Embed it in your WordPress blog, in your Drupal blog, so on and so forth.
Right, we've got so many questions coming in that I'm going to start filtering them. Let's get into the real juicy ones, and I will forward you all the questions afterwards if you want to answer those separately. So where should we go first? Let's talk to Alexandra. Raises a really good point. This is one that I always come across. What are your feelings about the little ad marking on a PPC campaign? And have you got any sort of stats or anything that talks about people skipping that because it's an ad?
It varies greatly. How ads are marked and displayed has changed quite a lot over the last few years. I think it's in Google's interest, and I think in a user interest, the less differences there are in the ads and the natural content makes for just a smoother user experience. Some people are cynical and look for the ads and skip them on purpose, or other clients who say they've never really noticed a difference. So I think that Google have on purpose made the demarcation between ads and natural content less obvious, because it just makes for a more seamless user experience. I mean, the big change came when you started having 2 or 3 at the top and then 5 or 6 down the side and 2 and 3 at the bottom, when they were very much focused on desktop and mobile. When they then streamlined that process, so on desktop and mobile, it was top and bottom. That's when they really started to change how ads are marked and how ads are displayed. So I think it's a much more seamless experience now than it ever has been.
Great. Another good question, one that I agree with as well. So maybe I'm just answering my own questions here, stuff that I want to find out, but chat are asking it, I promise. Justin's asked 60 to 70% of their website visits are from desktops. We find this in B2B. Most of our customers are using a desktop day to day. But if Google are placing emphasis on mobile first websites, which yes, we design for, but we don't place a huge amount of emphasis on because most of our visitors are desktop. Do you get penalized for that?
Absolutely not. No. We need to make sure that we get a seamless user experience across any platform, whether that's desktop, mobile, tablet. If we're showing that we're overall, responsible webmasters and want to make sure that whatever device you're accessing our website from, you get a standardized experience. That's all they're looking for. You won't get penalized because you've got more website traffic than desktop traffic. What they're trying to say is because overall the majority, most people are using a mobile device, and even if your traffic's 20 or 30%, that's a big chunk of your traffic that if you didn't have a mobile optimized website, you're going to be losing. So although we're the same, our agency, we permanently get traffic from desktop. We still make sure that there's still a big chunk of our traffic that comes from mobile, even though it's not the majority. Make sure it works across all platforms. And
in terms of being penalised, you would be penalised if you put all of your focus into desktop because you didn't feel that mobile was important to you. So I think it's a combination of what's right for your prospects, but also making sure that we are doing everything we need to do to keep Google happy and to keep Bing happy, because our prospects don't see our website unless we're appearing where we need to be through optimization.
Okay, brilliant. I think we've probably got time to squeeze in one more, and I'm just sorry for anyone that didn't get their question answered. So Caro's put into the chat, accelerated mobile pages, are these worth investing in?
Depending on the type of business you're in, the type of content you serve, yes. So AMP is accelerated mobile pages, AMP. Google has their own platform, so it makes sense.
What is it? What actually is that?
AMP it's a stripped out version of your website content that's served just to mobile devices.
Right, okay.
So lots of new sites use AMP, and you see a little icon saying powered by AMP. So it's advanced mobile pages. You see a little marking in Google searches on a mobile.
That's about serving a better experience to a mobile customer.
It's optimizing the experience for a mobile user. So if you're looking at new sites, Google use it. Sky News use it, BBC use it. So make sure that if you're in an industry that's serving lots of updates and lots of news, then AMP is definitely something well worth looking at, and use Google's platform. It's going to be beneficial to use their platform. There are others, but I'd be looking at Google's AMP platform.
I mean, again, it's a combination of user experience, but also doing the right things for Google, which is going to help you in your search results. So there's always an element of playing the game.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching another recording from Marketing Showcase Online. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to let you know, we've got all of the recordings uploaded to our brand new YouTube channel, so go over there and check it out if you want some more great content. We run these events once every month, free of charge, so head over to our website to grab tickets for next month's event. I look forward to seeing you there.